Yes, people, what's going on? Hope you guys are all doing well. Sorry, I've been a little bit AWOL, but we are back. The McKola Rory Podcast is back as well. And here is a little bit of a clip for you guys. But don't forget, you can go and check what is a full hours episode this week out over on Apple Podcasts, Deezer, Spotify, Amazon, Audio Boom, all those places. The link's in the description. Make sure you subscribe and leave a review and all that good stuff. And sit back, relax, and enjoy this clip. See you in a bit.
Look, I suppose we're bringing the red corner forward. So
sorry, I've just
let's
really
get stuck in.
No,
let's do it. Let's get stuck into the red corner. The red corner has been brought forward, so we'll do the latest news later, and Liverpool and City and all that stuff. I tweeted that it felt like Sevilla under Mourinho. Now, what this did was when you tweet the word Mourinho, what happens is there's this cult that he gathers, whether it's throughout the years of supporting, like being at clubs. He's gathered cults. So at Chelsea, Real Madrid, Inter Milan, Manchester United, Spurs. So he's got this clique of people that just run around the internet defending his honour and defending his name. It's really weird. And I just tweeted, that felt like Sevilla under Mourinho. I wasn't comparing the managers. I wasn't comparing the 11s. I wasn't comparing the 90 minutes. I wasn't comparing any of that. I was comparing how I felt watching it towards the end of the game and how the result made me feel. Because Sevilla under Mourinho felt like a turning point. It felt like a point where I almost thought, it's done here. Like, it's done. I can't see a way back for him. Now, it might have been at the time it was an overreaction because I've calmed down a little bit now. But at the time I felt like I can't see a way back from this. I can't see it getting any better. Now, Mourinho didn't get sacked immediately after Sevilla. He lasted quite a while after that. If I remember correctly. And I'm not suggesting that Solskjaer will get sacked. In fact, I believe he's earned the opportunity to turn it around. Like, with what he's done over the last 2 years, why are you going to sack him now? Like, he should be allowed at least, next few months. Let's see what happens. Next 6-9 months. Let's see what happens. He's earned that at the very least. But it felt like a moment where I thought, this ain't going to work, or it's not going to go to plan. And eventually, it's just going somewhere now. I hope I'm wrong. Because I want Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to turn it around. I want Man United to turn it around. And look, I've said 2 or 3 times before, if you go on my YouTube channel, I've said 2 or 3 times before, could Ole be gone by Christmas? Now, you know me, I'm never someone that will start going, just sack the manager now. Like, I'm not that guy in it. I'll always just talk about how things are going and how I feel things are going. And he's survived those 2 times. I think the last 2 seasons, I thought, could be gone by Christmas. And he's survived it. Because the players still rally around him. He's still got the dressing room. But there's a difference with this squad. It's a squad that should be winning things. And the pressures on Manchester United now are different. The pressures before were, let's close the gap. Let's settle down. Let's try and build foundations for future success. And I believe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has done that. He's brought back Champions League football. He's brought that back a team we can be proud of. Man United fans are all buzzing again when we go to games, although we weren't after Everton. But he's brought back a good feeling to the club. So he's done a good thing. But what we've seen over his time at United is when that expectation is there, Villarreal, time to win a trophy, semi-finals, finals, whatever, like when that expectation is there, he fails to deliver upon it. And that makes me think the doubt that I had when we beat PSG and when we gave him the contract at the start was, I'm not sure whether he's the man to bring the Premier League and the Champions League as much as I want him to do. Those doubts are still there. And he needs to prove himself ASAP at Man United, because a team with Cristiano Ronaldo, Varane, Jadon Sancho, all these players, they're not going to wait around for a manager to learn on the job or get better. The pressure is there now.
And losing points in consecutive weekends at home, even if it is punctuated with a very good win in Europe, I feel like my approach to Manchester United is really fair. I was saying how amazing that result was in Europe. When people were analysing that performance against Villarreal, even after securing the 3 points, Manchester United fans were going, it's not good enough. I was like, mate, just smile. You've just robbed 3 points in Europe. Cristiano Ronaldo has just scored in the last minute. You should only be going mad here. This is only good news. I can't quite understand what you're doing. equally, when it's flat, whether it's flat to Aston Villa, whether it's flat to against West Ham, I will flag it. And the Everton result for me, I feel like it was a bit of a line in the sand. You know, Andros Townsend doing the celebration in the corner. Yerry Mina having a goal ruled out, like a Rizzler paper away from losing that game. They've done that. They've won that game without Decore. No, sorry, they've won it without Richarlison. They've won it without Calvert-Lewin, or they've won points without those two players. And you kind of go, Manchester United, the Manchester United that I knew, the Manchester United that I was intimidated by as a kid, wins that game 3-0. Like, what is happening? And everything you've said about Solskjaer, I think that can be true, Ad. Are Man United fans loving going to the games? Yes. Is there a happier vibe around the club? Yes. Is the disparity between the owners and the club and the fans and the management, is that closed? Is everybody pulling in the same direction now? Yes. All of those things can be true, but equally, he may need to leave for Manchester United to actually secure their aspirations. Their aspirations are to win top tier trophies, and I don't know if he's that man.
Ultimately, he could have been the cure for what we needed at that time, but United need to be winning trophies. And
yeah,
unless you prove that this season, unfortunately, it's only going to mean one thing. And I'll be madly upset by that because I love Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I think, people try and disregard his legendary status at the club. I've seen some younger United fans saying, "I want one goal for the club," and you think, what?
No.
Are you talking about?
I've seen that at Chelsea as well.
Yeah,
that's a block.
It's mental.
That's a block.
Like,
it's an immediate block. People do that. People would do that about Lampard. Like, people who are Chelsea fans would do that about Lampard. They'd be sneery about him. They'd actually be like really disrespectful and like question how good he was as a player and things like that. Just like, what are you like what
rewriting history?
It's completely unacceptable, and it's just a block from me. Like, I think, but it's funny, isn't it, Twitter? Because if you block someone, the reaction from them is, he's crying. I've rattled him. Whereas truth so far from that. Like, if I block someone on Twitter, it couldn't be further from their the way that they decipher the situation to read. They seem to think they've won. I'm rattled. I'm crying. Whereas the reality is, I've seen something that I don't like. I click block. I never think of you again. It's so it's so dismissive. It's so dismissive. But yeah, even people who I don't follow, who don't talk to me, they don't follow me or anything. If I see anything like that about Lampard, I just immediately block. And whatever people's feelings about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, to have the audacity to call yourself a Manchester United fan and simultaneously belittle the contribution of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to that club. It's actually what's the word? It's not. If you're a heretic, what's that? Heresy. It's just totally. It's.
I've learned something new.
Yeah, I can't even think. What I'm trying to say is, if you're
someone
really
that denies the
heritage,
religious,
it's really being religious at somebody, and you blasphemy. It's that's what it is. You cannot say anything negative about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It's just truly ridiculous. You can say he's not in terms of his management, but to belittle his playing career is, firstly, incorrect. It's factually incorrect. So don't do it. But
and with all those injuries, look what he achieved,
man.
Yeah,
have a little bit.
I remember as well. I don't know if you remember this. Again, it's almost like we're doing different parts at different places. But do you remember when David Beckham was at trouble at United and Fergie and him weren't quite getting on, and they were beginning to see parts of their relationship was fragmenting, and it was Solskjaer who played on the right wing instead of David Beckham during those times. And Fergie was like, "Well, what do you mean? I'm not leaving Beckham out. Solskjaer's just so good." I remember him saying things like that because I was a Beckham fanboy. Like, and Solskjaer kept delivering goals, assists, whipping the ball in. Like, he could play. He was a very, very intelligent footballer. And yeah, it's remarkable how people do disregard his career. But like you say, if you're going to criticize him as a manager, fair enough. Like, I do fear he maybe has taken United further than, he can now. But let's see. He's not going to get sacked anytime soon anyway.
No. Terrible fixtures
and
coming
in
up.
the meantime,
terrible
what I hate
fixtures
as well, another thing, the fixtures are crazy. Another thing that I hate, is like, I can sit here and say, I'm not sure whether Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the man to win trophies at United. And look, you've been with me over the last 2 years making videos. I've kind of been consistent in that. But I've also been consistent in the fact of saying that I fucking want him to win and I'm supporting him to win. And people that can't, like United fans that don't get that you can do both, baffle me as well. But anyway, I'm rambling on.
But mate,
He's under pressure. Like I said, the fixtures are horrible.
No, I'd contest that. I don't think you are rambling on at all because I'm finding it very interesting. Do you ever see this? This is the lowest of the low. This is the pits in football fandom, right? This is the worst person in the world. Do you ever see this? Manchester United fans, they might not explicitly say it, but you know because you're reading their tweets and you know that secretly they're up for a loss because of the pressure that it will pile on their manager.
I've seen people say that
that's what
they want losses.
That's what I used to see. I used to see it with Lampard when there was never in the stadium, but online there was a segment of fans that were fairly hostile to Frank Lampard, always hiding behind avatars and like they'd be called things like Hazard's Rabona or whatever, and they'd be tweeting incessantly about how they hated Frank Lampard. You know that even though they would call themselves a Chelsea fan, that when Chelsea played Luton Town in the cup, they were hoping for an upset. Because they knew of the pressure that it would pile on. And look, everyone's got to do what they got to do, and it's not for me to judge, right? But I can judge it from my perspective. That's just not a football fan that I can have any empathy with whatsoever.
If I was going into games thinking that, I just wouldn't watch, if I was going into games thinking I just want I won't go.
Well, you're literally not a fan, are you? You're literally not a fan of the club. You're literally not. You're literally supporting the other team.
And
what are you doing?
If your team wins, if your team consistently wins, guess what? That's a good thing.
yeah, I know. Are you seeing that at all? Is that there in the Manchester United ether? Are you finding that?
I think it's like you've mentioned it about Chelsea fans with Lampard and all that, and I think it's just football fans nowadays. I think there are sections of fan bases that are either too young to acknowledge what these players have done, or they just say things for reactions, or they just don't care. And
I saw
also,
a ridiculous one.
There are a few accounts that are definitely not fans of the clubs that they say they are, so that they just say things for reactions. It's so obvious when you see that as well.
I saw a mad one. I saw, when you beat Villarreal in the last minute, I saw a proper conversation. People annoyed that Solskjaer was celebrating. I'm just like, what you? It's one of them where when you see those memes and people are like, delete the app or log out now. It was that for me. I don't know. How can Manchester United fans win a game in Europe in the last minute with Cristiano Ronaldo scoring a winner, a goalmouth scramble, bang, in the back of the net, Champions League hopes alive, Stretford End in, fans leave the stadium singing Viva Ronaldo. Somebody who supports Man United goes, that wasn't good. What are you doing? Just enjoy the moment. What are you doing?
Oh, idiots. Our next fixtures, Rory, and you can tell me whether you think he's going to get through these, because there is some people now have a right to complain. Leicester away. I'll keep it with the league. Leicester away, Liverpool at home, Spurs away, City at home, Watford away, Chelsea away, Arsenal at home. That's our fixtures up until December.
Leicester, Tottenham, Watford, Arsenal.
Leicester, Liverpool, Tottenham.
Be one. No, but four
City,
games that I just
Watford.
I was listening to the whole fixture list. I think that Leicester, the four that I just said, need to be won. The four that I said, so not Chelsea, not Man City, not Liverpool, but every other game that you said there, I think it was Leicester, Watford, Tottenham. And Arsenal. Must be won. Those fixtures. Non-negotiable here. I'm being completely rigid to this. Those fixtures must be won. The fixtures where Manchester United are playing teams that they are currently above in the league, they must be won. When Manchester United play Liverpool, when Manchester United play City, when Manchester United play Chelsea, I think we can move the rules a bit. I think a defeat can be accepted in those particular games. But Solskjaer needs to be bringing home 3 points in those 4 games, non-negotiably. If he does, I think I'll rest. I'll be slightly less on his case. If you start dropping points to Arsenal, Tottenham, Watford, Leicester, I'm afraid the pressure is just going to become so strong that even somebody as secure in his position as Solskjaer, I think that there could be some questions.
And in between those games, you've got 2 games against Atalanta, which will go a long way to deciding whether we're still in the Champions League next season. And they're a good side who score a lot of goals. So, yeah, like you said, the pressure could be on. The one thing that gives me confidence from this is he's generally been good in those fixtures. Tottenham away, Leicester away, City. Less so at home, to be fair. I think they usually beat us at home, but we beat them at their ground. Chelsea away, we've had a few decent results there under him. So that kind of thing gives me confidence. But knowing us, we'd probably beat Leicester, beat Liverpool, and lose against Watford and Palace. And it'll be like, bloody hell. We just
that can't happen though. That can't happen. Do you know what you've just reminded me of there, where you said we had a few good results at Stamford Bridge? I got to thinking, right, there was a time when I was a kid where far better Manchester United teams than the one now, and far worse teams than the Chelsea team that currently now. Whatever was going on, Chelsea would beat Manchester United. Like Chelsea had I think Chelsea were Manchester United sort of bogey team. You know, when you said they've had a good result, suddenly I was thinking, hang on a minute, we've got a really proud record against Manchester United. It suddenly dropped. There was do you know what? I sat right next to the away fans. Were you at this game, Ad? It was a cup game.
So there you have it. As I said, you can go and check out the full podcast. The link is in the description below. Make sure you're reviewing us. Make sure you're subscribing and all that good stuff. Go and check out Rory's channel as well. Until next time, I've been AdamMcKola. I'm out of here.